Hello guys, and welcome back to HJW Gaming and another update from my event server. I'm going to be trying to do these updates a little bit more frequently, as I know a lot of you guys enjoy these, and I've left quite big gaps in some of my full-on home season updates due to workload issues, so I'm going to be taking a look and trying to do these a little bit more regularly. Today is day 5 of the server. If I go to the target option, you'll see on the right hand side, day 5 of the minute, so we can look to see how we've progressed. So I did do a live stream of the first 2 hours of this server, and I have also put out an update after 24 hours to show how we progressed in that server. If you haven't seen those, click the link to my channel down below and check those out first, because they'll give a lot of context for how what we're talking through here today. Now, the eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that we have done our first relocate. So we'll take a look at the map first and foremost, and you'll see that things have started to change here and there. So the first thing is that you'll see 2 kingdoms have spawned. The first down in the Darklands, which is King Under the Mountains team. He has formed his kingdom and put his capital at the Sea of Nurnen and captured 4 keeps to date in the Darklands. And you can see they've started to build up this green kingdom. Then we also have in the kind of southwest of the map, we also have the Bane Kingdom as well, picking up this blue colour, and they've also captured 4 keeps and stuck their capital right in the southwest at Andrast. You'll note that we actually currently don't have our kingdom formed. We will be looking to do so soon. With these servers, they have actually introduced an update where fellowships can range up to 200 members. So we saw this in PBE, and I did speculate that this was soon going to come to the main game. It looks like they're now giving it a run in Season 1 servers, which is normally what they do before they bring it to the main game. They usually use Season 1 as almost like a second de facto PBE to see how it's received. So that looks like what they're doing here, so we can expect to see that in the main game soon. But with the update to 200 members and actually the rapid way our fellowship has developed, which you'll see later on, I haven't felt the need for us to create a kingdom yet, as actually there's no one we really need to partner with. We will look to pick it up soon, though, due to the requirements, and then we can move on and get kingdom buffs going soon. So we can pick that up once we've picked up our 3rd keep, which is a requirement for, of course, forming a kingdom. You will note that there is another captured keep in our area. This is actually captured by kind of mini home, which was our 2nd team. Now we've got more members. We have ported most of those over into main home. So this will probably be something we look to pick up again in the future. But first we kind of prioritised expansion into other regions so we can pick up better tiles. As you can see, we picked up this pass here, which is actually the reason we relocated, was so we could be as close as possible to this pass to kind of do a lot of damage and get a lot more siege going, as well as pick up some additional tiles once those new regions open up. Otherwise, we've just picked up 2 very simple, easy keeps. We've picked up Bree and Hobbiton, which are very low-level keeps, level 3 and 4, just so we can get those things going. So they gave us small buffs, but we probably need to pick up a lot more in the future, because otherwise we're going to start falling behind as far as keep buffs go. We are going to pick up Cardalan today, so that will really help with buffs and things as well. You see, it's actually a level 7 keep, so the buff is significantly better, 500 ore here. And will probably be the first keep of this size, I think, is captured on the game. Let's take a look. So that's a level 7 keep. Everything else, I think, captured is kind of level 3, 4, and 5. So yeah, Andras the 5, 3 from Nern, 6 from Sea of Nurnen. Yeah, so this will be the highest keep to date. You'll see Bane have also captured Dunfermline, so they are clearly moving up towards Eriador with the intention of taking some of the passes up here and progressing into Eriador as well. So that's kind of necessitated the need for us to move very, very quickly. So if we can pick up Cardalan, we'll be in very, very good shape, I think, to move in that direction. So PvP will likely come sooner rather than later. There's another keep captured in the north. You'll see west here is actually another active fellowship at the minute, capturing keeps. I don't think they're associated with either of the creators, so that's interesting to see another team in. Otherwise, this whole north and northeast area of the map is completely scarce. And that, of course, is due to the 3rd creator in our server pulling out. So we're left with the south and the west just being flooded with players, and then not a lot in the north, which is always an interesting one. You'll see also there's been quite a change in this kind of central region as well. The in-server events have progressed a little bit. So you'll see here we have the battle at Eisen Fords. So this is the Dunlendings battling against Rohan, and you'll notice that the Dunlendings definitely came out on top. So you can see they are absolutely everywhere at the moment, with the Rohan City Guard being fairly scattered and significantly less numerous than they were in my day 1 update when we scanned the similar area. We've also got the Siege of the Soothberg, which is here. If we zoom in, you'll see there's a ton of the Dunlending armies surrounding Rohan-occupied Helm's Deep. Of course, this is all AI, I should say. This is all just the game's kind of backstory, but I'm assuming at some point there will be an expectation for the kingdoms and fellowships in this server to participate in this, or some kind of reward for participating in this. You can see there are gem rewards, but hopefully there's a little bit more than that. If you're going to come up against the AI, there's got to be something more worthwhile. And then there's the third trigger, which is the Fall of Edoras, and that is the Dunlendings marching, and they've captured Edoras. Even though, funnily enough, there are still some Rohan city guards sitting around, it has been captured by the random Dunlendings. So that's kind of the progression of the AI-based event for those that are interested in that. Now that's talking through most of the kind of fellowships and the AI's progression. So how about kind of server rankings progression? Let's take a look. So our personal affluence has fallen somewhat. We are at 15th with 21,000. If I try and move out the way. Oh, my chair's in the way anyway. We were at 21,255. There we go. That's better if I move my head out of the way. We are at 21,240 affluence, which placed us in 15th. We haven't been capturing a lot of neutral tiles. This is purely from resource tiles to make sure we can progress as much as possible. Because we are a little bit behind on building. I spent a lot of resources on troops, actually, which put me a little bit behind on building, a little bit behind on tile limit. So I'm trying to get as many resources now in as possible so that I can then catch up with that building side and get as many tiles as possible. But you can see there's a lot of people doing very, very well above us. There's a lot of home players still here as well. Dunn, Captain Storm, Big Daddy King, Skeletor, Bellacamus as well. The Only as well, who's done particularly well as he was in kind of mini home, as we'll call it. A player who hasn't played with me before and is doing absolutely magnificently, so shout out to him in 6th. Same with a lot of these players. These are all kind of new players to home, and they're all doing absolutely fantastic, so it's great to see. You'll notice a few other names maybe from my main server, like Elston here, of course, in 2nd. You're seeing there's a lot of home here at the top of the power rankings, and we'll be looking to shift as many over at main home as we can. Of course, Football still here at the minute, who's been running other home for me. Whilst I've been managing the main team, so he'll be moving over pretty soon, and everyone else from home will be shifting over. As I said, we have that 200 fellowship limit now, so we can get everyone into one team. So you can see there's a lot of home here, a few other fellowships scattered around, but we're doing very, very well as far as power production goes. There's a few others scattered around. Of course, you saw west there. There's a lot of Bane as well, and a couple of King Under the Mountains popping up here as well. So production-wise, we're doing very, very well, which can be seen in the fellowship rankings. We are, substantially ahead at the minute as far as production goes, with 1.6 million. Though, of course, it should be said that production is not a big teller of what will actually happen when it comes to warfare. As I mentioned, there are 2 other kingdoms already formed with Bane and King Under the Mountain, these kind of top 2, and they are both allied together. So whilst we look like we're far ahead with 1.6 million power, the other 2 combined also have 1.6 million power, and more importantly, double the number of players. So we need to be very cautious how we approach this as well, as of course there will be a lot of competition here as well. Interesting, there are a lot of other fellowships which I don't know a huge amount of the details about. We have West here, who have spawned in Forod Waith, so very, very close to a lot of the homies as well. And then we have Tron in 5th as well, who spawned with Wit in the White Mountains. I'm not sure who these are, whether they were originally recruited with the other creator. I believe the other creator was Russian, so that's interesting that the creator that pulled out might have still left a lot of Russian players in the server, potentially, and that could be why they're in the White Mountains. But there's a lot of undeclared players here as well. You'll see Little Home has dropped from, I think it was like 5th or 4th in the last one, down to 10th as we port those kind of members over. You'll see we're at 117 members with a limit of 200 at the minute. So there's still a lot of space for us to keep bringing players in. Whereas the other 2 teams are still at, they've got 100 members. So that's 200 players already. So we are outnumbered at the minute, but power-wise, it's looking pretty damn even. And I've skipped off the rankings without showing commanders, but actually I'll talk through my own commanders first before I show the rankings. I think still running the same as what we did at the day one video. We still have respect to Galadriel, not pumping money in at the minute with this being a season 1 server, so our progression of our comms isn't going to be particularly rapid. So we are still looking at respect to Galadriel here. We've got some gold gear on her if I move out of the way. 113 focus for season 1. I don't think that's too bad. Her skills and her damage on Galadriel are always pretty mediocre, is going to be the one issue. But I think for season 1 she may stand up reasonably well. And then we've also looked to ascend Dwalin. All of the respect items we had for commanders we weren't that interested in using. We've got a nice spread here of tier 2s. So we've got Gimli, Gandalf the Grey, Aragorn 2, sorry. AMF, we're getting a lot of respect items for all of these. So they're all respect 1 or 2, whereas I'd rather look to progress just 1 or 2 in particular. And Dwalin was one I wanted to look to ascend. Main reason being, whilst he isn't as good as a commander like Gimli, what we could do by ascending him is get him plenty of skill points, so we can take Durin's Blood and Experienced Warrior very early on, and then we also have a use for our tier 1 respect items. By putting those items into him, we'll get benefit. So I wanted to have someone that I could use those tier 1 respect items I'm getting out of the only couple of free-to-play chests I get a time. So I'm just making sure that I have a use and I can trade those, for more Dwalin items. And I think his respect could be very valuable this season. So we'll see how that one plays out. We also have Gimli in as well, rocking that blue gear. Again, similar to Dwalin, he's got very good damage skills between Durin's Blood and Experienced Warrior. I'd be surprised if he hit Respect 4, particularly before PvP, but hopefully we get him before the end of the server. But that means he's going to be very similar damage-wise to Dwalin, whereas I think there's more respect to be had from Dwalin, so that's why I went down that route. But yeah, Gimli Respect 2. We also have Gandalf the Grey providing White Council and kind of being our main tank at the minute. We have very limited kind of tank gear, as you can see, but he's kind of providing as much as he can with his little 72 focus. So yeah, but he will be replaced soon. As you'll see, my Gandalf the White has progressed to Respect 1. Did get a bit lucky with some free Matham pulls, bringing me Gandalf the White Respect items. So we've pushed all those into him, and he is at Respect 1. I hope that we can get him to Respect 2 midway through the server, hopefully. As I said in my Day 1 video, he will be very, very valuable in a season where there's very limited White Council shredders. But at the minute, he's kind of on my second team and actually being more of a damage dealer, as both of his Respect 0 skills revolve around focus damage. So I'm kind of using him as de facto Galadriel in my kind of secondary tile team, along with Radagast, Aragorn 2, and Boromir. We did get another invitation as well, actually, in a free chest. I think it was about 5 chests after we'd had a guaranteed invitation pull, so we got very lucky with that. But we actually pulled a pretty decent commander here, an Aragorn King of Men. We haven't had any luck yet with, of course, the ones we're really looking for, Dane, or an invitation for Gandalf the White, of course, as well. Any of these really top tier heroes, we haven't had a huge amount of luck. But we have pulled King of Men, who's a pretty reasonable, particularly for season 1, damage dealer. So he's another one, though, we will have to push up to Respect 2 before he's fully usable, hence why he's on the bench at the minute. If we get another invitation during the server, then we might consider using him. But for now, I don't think his damage is as strong as the ones we're using in our main or second team. So that's our commanders. You see top level is level 37 at the minute, everything else around level 30, 35. But if we look at the leaderboard, some people have been absolutely flying along. Alutka here, who I think is she second in the... Is she second in the personal rank? Third in the personal rankings, with that Dane, who's been doing absolute work, and you can see why. Respect to Dane, absolutely amazing, able to get Durin's Blood in, as well as Iron Foot as well, for a huge amount of damage, and those gear pulls are, I can only dream. In a season 1, this is going to be insane. Evasive action, Axe of Khazad Doom, along with Berserker's Raiment, also with evasive action. Incredible luck on the pulls here, and the best of all, of course, being the Palantir of Orthanc. I've only ever pulled one of these on my main account, so seeing one of these in a season 1 account just makes that all the more infuriating, but it's incredible to see. So, probably the strongest comm on the server at the minute coming here from Alutka, who's also got some other great comms with this Respect to Gandalf the White, providing that huge amount of support with White Council and also Galadriel as well. So the formings of a great team coming in here from her. And she's also gone with Dwalin as well, as you can see, at respect 5. What else we got? We've got Elston here as well with his Gandalf the Grey, going for a similar route to me, using White Council for that support, with Gandalf the Grey, of course, being cheaper at the beginning than Gandalf the White. Tridot's popping up here for the first King Under the Mountain player, using Aragorn 2. Of course, well easy to obtain here. There's a 99p or 99 cents pack available at the beginning of the game, as well as if you buy that, you then get an additional set of manuscripts for him, so you get him to respect 1 straight away. One of the best you can choose to use in a Season 1 server, which he's put to good use here, running Aragorn 2 and getting him up to level 40, so that's great to see. Now, Haji here is actually running a very interesting formation that you don't see very used in the main game. It seems to be doing incredibly well in Season 1, particularly at farming. Now, Theoden is a commander that you can get from the Season Pass. If you've purchased it, you get manuscripts for him, and he's put that to good use with his Theoden at respect 4, and of course running the kind of standard mounted medium units skills. Eomer is also one of the base commanders you can get very, very quickly, very, very early. And he's obviously, of course, spent on that as well, as you can tell from the gear. But he's got him as well, and using similar synergies to run him as a mix between a DD... Well, use him as a DD commander, basically, as well. But synergizes, obviously, well in future with the medium units. And he's actually gone for Eowyn as well. He's ascended her into that kind of... his legendary rarity. Ascended her up, using her with troop support, which is interesting for good healing as well as good damage mitigation. So yeah, very interesting formation there. It's not something you see particularly used in the main game, but it seems to be doing very, very well in this Season 1 format. A couple of other Gandalf the Whites you can see popping up here. We've got Dunn here with respect 5 already. That's huge. Skeletor as well with respect 2. So it's no surprise to see these players up in the leaderboard when they've got amazing support like that. Hopefully we can get to there soon. Dunn also rocking that respect 5 Dane Ironfoot. So he's been huge on respect. And you'll see very lucky again with a great Axe of Khazad-dûm. Sharp Blade, brilliant. You know, in Season 1, Sharp Blade, probably the best set effect, as you're not going to have the gear to get that attack, you know, above that 200 mark. So Sharp Blade, actually a fantastic option here, which he's put into very good use. And of course, respect 5 means he's got huge potential as far as damage goes with the King Under the Mountain skill unlocked. Ironically, using it against King Under the Mountain. You see here, there's a lot of other commanders here. We've talked through most of these. Seen a lot of Radaghasts, Thranduils, maybe even the odd Treebeard, but I expect the other two more often. Of course, given us those free limited season commanders. Who else we got? Bane, who's W Love DT HME, running also a Dane Ironfoot. So that's the first we've seen outside of home, popping up at respect 0. JJ also rocking the respect 2. Ooh, with a Cask of Pride. Nice, very nice, very nice. But you see a lot of the same kind of commanders here. They'll be the ones that kind of pop up and get given as part of Season 1. So you'll see a lot of them here. Love seeing a Treebeard here. Interestingly shows -1 respect level, which basically means he's respect 0 on the guy's account because he's been given him for the limited time season. So when he gets taken away, it won't be available anymore, of course, at the end of the season. But yeah, some amazing commanders popping up here. So yeah, that's basically the season rankings. How do I see the season progressing? Well, I think it's very likely that something's going to happen in Eriador very soon. You can see, of course, us pushing across to kind of claim the Eriador area, and Bane pushing up. So I think it's very likely that that comes soon. As far as what happens in the east, I don't know. I'm assuming they're going to just go and pick up most of these keeps, try and get as many of these keep buffs in as possible, as of course having these will give them a huge advantage as far as at least production goes, and they can easily secure entry into that central region whilst we're busy in Eriador. So that would be my assumption, is coming through the central region to then try and pincer us in line with Bane, of course, as well. But of course, it's far too early to dictate that, and particularly things like pass limitations will prevent that from happening too soon. So we'll have to see how the season progresses as we move on. But anyway, with that, that's my Day 5 update. very early in the season, as you see, but I'll try and update this more regularly for those very interested in the event server. For those who want to join, there is still openings as well. If you join, go click join a new character from your account. You can select season 1, and if you choose server 1402, of course it's 5 days expired. But if you join home, for example, you will get the benefit of our fellowship boost. So you'll get the benefit, for example, of a lot of our resource boosts, which will allow you to develop very, very quickly. So if you wanted to join server 1402, spawn. If you click Erebor, for example, you should be able to spawn. I think it's Erebor or Lothlorien. You should be able to spawn close enough in order to join home, and then you can take advantage of our fellowship buffs, come and join the team, and help us in our fight, basically. And you'll catch up very, very quickly. You'll be very surprised how quickly you can catch up. Anyway, with that, hopefully you guys have enjoyed. I've been HJW Gaming, and I really hope to see you on the next one.